Hey guys, back with yet another wrestling squash. I keep saying that I'm going to put up the top 12 wrestling theme songs, but do I really have to make the same excuse again? I mean, like, I'm having some difficulties and whatnot, and it's just going to be a while. I'm sorry. Like I said, the end of the month, I'm sticking to that. The end of the month, you will see theme songs. Well, you'll hear theme songs. There will be theme songs. Oh, yes. Quickly, I really do want to thank the Otakun. Um, he had a little video up plugging me, so hopefully now my viewers will double well into the double digits. That would be awesome. Um, right now, I also want to give a shout out to a new up and comer, the Gorgal. Her videos should be up soon. I highly recommend you check them out because horror movies are awesome. All right, well, you guys don't care about any of that. We're here to talk about and see is the wrestling. So let's get to the wrestling. So we got Raw, September 20th, 2010. Very first thing we see is ex-WWE champion Sheamus saunter out to the ring. And he says, I want a rematch for the WWE Championship. And Randy Orton comes out. I swear to you, every time this guy comes out, the fans go nuts. And he honest to God, looks like he would murder small children in the audience. And he would just cheer as he feasts on their innards. I don't get it. The guy just, I don't know what they're doing to make him so popular, but it's working and they should keep doing it. Anyway, so Randy comes out and he's like, if you want your rematch, all you had to do was ask. Because he's very exciting when he talks, that's what he does. Anyway, so the match is on for Hell in a Cell, which I should point out is 2 weeks after a previous pay-per-view. Sure does give them a lot of time to build that epic Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. And for those of you who haven't been watching wrestling as long as I have, Hell in a Cell is where Mick Foley almost committed suicide in a live audience. So it's a big deal. Now it gets 2 weeks and it's Randy Orton and Sheamus, and I mean I like both guys, but the match is going to be boring and it's they're not going to do a Hell in a Cell match. They're going to do a standard match with maybe a bump into the cage. Like he's going to grind him. They actually can't even bleed, so he'll grind him and it won't even do anything. So there's that. Anyway, after that happens, brand new tag team champions, dashing Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre come out to the ring. And I told you, these guys are so incredibly boring. It's ridiculous. So they come out on Raw, and although I do have to say I like Cody Rhodes' theme song, the Smoke and Mirrors thing. I don't know, that's like a 70s throwback. I like that. They have a match against Santino. Okay. Against Santino and Vladimir Kozlov. Now, like I said on the Night of Champions squash, does anyone actually think that these guys are winning? Actually, scratch that. Does anybody even think they're a team? They're just 2 guys they threw together who have nothing to do. And Santino Marella, I don't think he's won a match in a year. At least. So anyway, there's that. So obviously Drew McIntyre and Drew McIntyre and Cody Rhodes win. Oh, by the way, if you keep seeing me look to the left, I actually have to look at the results of the show because it only happened 4 days ago, but it was so mind-bogglingly boring that I actually have to read to know what's going on. So there's nothing exciting going on over here. I'm just looking at the results. Anyway, after that, Chris Jericho comes out. After he swore if he didn't win, he would leave. He comes out. And if you follow his Twitter, and no, I don't tweet. I don't follow that stuff. But anyway, on his Twitter, he's basically saying anyone who told him he was leaving is stupid because it's all a work. It's not real. Heels lie. Anyway, he comes out and he has a match against John Morrison. So that happens. They have a match, and sure enough, John Morrison wins. This match was good. It was very good. Chris Jericho is a spectacular wrestler, and John Morrison gets better and better every week. Although they really seem to be pushing his parkour thing, where he flips all over the place for no apparent reason. I mean, don't get me wrong. I like flippy stuff when they do triple somersaults, but it has to mean something. You can't just suddenly decide to do 3 moonsaults in a row somehow, and then land on your feet and go, "Hey, cheer!" Because I won't. I mean, you might, or some might, but I won't. Anyway, Morrison wins, and they're like, hey, it's a big deal, even though Evan Braun has beaten Jericho before, so, I mean, how big of a deal can it be? So, okay, yeah, so after that, the new U.S. champion, Daniel Bryan, comes out to his... he comes out to his new theme song that they gave him. And he, it's if you've ever seen a war movie, it's like that. It's like do 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 do. That's what it is. That's his theme song. So yeah, so there's that, and he's fighting Edge, who's like on a crusade to kill the anonymous general manager. So yeah, there's that. Oh, I should point out that Chris Jericho is on the case for finding the general manager. He has the IP address, and he's zeroing in on the guy. Actually, I should point out he has Michael Cole's IP address, which does nothing. Like, I'm not claiming to be a supercomputer nerd who knows all the ins and outs, but I do know this. Say I have my older brother's IP address. That does not mean that I could locate like some other dude who he vaguely knows. That's not the way IP addresses work. You actually have to have the IP address for the person that you're looking for. I thought this was fairly common stuff. I mean, I know they're marketing to kids, but like, you just... Anyway. So anyway, they have their match, and whatchamacallit? Sorry, it appears as though there's a bludgeoning going on upstairs. Anyway, so after that happens, I'm getting adjusted here. Need to show off the shiny belt. By the way, this is the SmackDown Tag Team Championship, and it was so important that they don't even use it anymore. And yes, I wear this everywhere. In the shower, business meetings, you name it, I'm wearing it. Always. Anyway, The Miz runs out. So I'm back. It turns out that I only had to move the body a couple of feet. And I got a lolly out of it. Anyway, so after that happens, The Miz comes out and interferes, and Edge rolls up Daniel Bryan. But after that, you hear the what you would hear if you get a text message, and Michael Cole stands up and does his full, I have an email from the general manager. And I quote. And he does that, and he basically just says that now they have to like do it again. Or no, sorry, it was dumber than that. The Miz actually wins by disqualification because there's a precedent for that, and bad guys never win matches by rolling up or cheating or using weapons, ever. I understand that they have a writing crew now who they're writing this. They're writing this. They're being paid to write this. Anyway, I have to remember to take my pills after this video's over so I don't pop a gasket. Anyway, after that they Okay. So after that, Layla and Michelle McCool come out. Unified Divas. Yeah, that's the other thing. They unified the Women Divas Championship, and they decided to keep the belt that was only 2 years old. And I guess the theory is it's called the Divas Championship. They're divas. Anyway, they come out, and Layla has a match with Melina and beats her. So now both members of Life Cool have beaten Melina. So now there's no reason to ever see Melina fight them ever again. I hope they all get into a plane crash and die. Anyway, after that, Jericho says that he's going to fight, he's going to fight Randy Orton next week, and if he loses, if he wins, he'll get a championship match after he fights Sheamus that Sunday in Hell in a Cell. And they're like, okay, cool. So they do that. After that, you got Even R-Truth with his horrible new rapping song that he does that no one in the audience knows, and they don't sing along with him, versus Ted DiBiase and Maurice. R-Truth and Eve win. The match sucks. They suck. Next. Main event time. John Cena. He has to fight the Nexus. There are 5 guys. 5 guys in their 20s who are like vaguely talented. He goes through 4 of them before they all like run in and beat the shit out of him. Which, you know, if I were like one of the Nexus guys, I'd be standing outside going, "You just beat my friend. There's still 4 of us standing out here. Let's just go beat the shit out of him." And they do. They go beat up Cena, and then they put Wade Barrett on the mic, which is never a good idea because the guy can't talk to save his life. And he's like, "I'll tell you something, Cena. I want a match with you at Hell in a Cell, and if you lose, you have to join our faction, because if you're not Nexus, you're talented." So, he's like, alright, I'll tell you, he does his adult ADD thing where he's like, oh, he's like, if I win, the Nexus is disbanded. I take you all out back and line you up against a wall and shoot you all in the head. And he's like, alright, that's the way it's going to be. That's the way the show was off the air. With Super Cena looking triumphant again. All in all, it was okay. I mean, it wasn't great or anything, but it was okay. The wrestling wasn't that great. Anyway, guys, that's my bite. I'll talk to you guys later. That review will be up, I promise you. And until next time, that wrestling guy, signing off.